Like and subscribe on the way in the door, my people. I hope you all are having a truly fantastic day today. So before we get started with this video, I just want to address the members of the CFL, the LeBron James fanboys, and let me go ahead and assure you, because a lot of you have been popping up in my comments, like I said, y'all been kind of ramping it up lately, getting in my comments, calling me a hater, and I've seen some new fanboys I hadn't seen before, counting my LeBron videos and stuff like that. So before you, any new fanboys to the channel, welcome. Before you go counting my videos, let me just go ahead and assure you, I do plenty of LeBron videos. So you don't have to count them. I'm go ahead and tell you that there are plenty of them, I have more LeBron videos than anything else. And, the reason for that is because they are constantly putting out narratives about LeBron. So I will be constantly combating those. So, let me just go ahead and let you know that right off the bat, so you don't have to worry or wonder or go through all my videos and be like, see, this guy, he can't get views without LeBron James videos. Let me just go ahead and put your mind at rest. Yes, I do lots of LeBron videos on this channel, and I will continue to do lots of LeBron videos, especially now that he has this ridiculous podcast up. All right. So now that we got that out the way, I was rewatching the interview with Kobe Bryant and Shaquille Oneal. Fanboys, Kobe Bryant, the one who is definitely greater than your king, even though the media won't tell it that way. But and one thing that he talked about, and I kind of didn't realize how far it had gone, is, when him and Shaq weren't getting along or whatnot, that Kobe was going to go to the Chicago Bulls. Now, I think we all knew that this was the case. At this point, I think we all know that Kobe was talking about going to Chicago, but he talks about in the video how they were actually searching for houses, and I believe he said they had actually found a place to leave, and he was in Italy, I believe, when he got the news that Shaq requested a trade. So yeah, and he goes on to kind of talk about the reason he wanted to leave. He said he didn't want to be known as the guy who couldn't win without Shaq. And he was like, I realized that Magic had Kareem and Michael had Pippen, but I didn't want to be known as the guy who couldn't win without Shaq. And so I wanted to kind of talk about what I thought about that. So again, to me, Kobe is representative of the generation that came after Michael Jordan. He's representative of that generation who came after the guy who set a new standard, who set new heights in basketball that no one had ever seen before. He came in a generation after the guy who made everyone want to play basketball. Again, if you grew up in the 90s, and I've said this many times on this channel, is that basketball was literally part of the culture in the 90s. It was ingrained in every facet of the culture. And so, Kobe Bryant, AI, Vince Carter, Tracy McGrady, just a plethora of players who came after Michael Jordan, who to me embodied the competitiveness to a degree, but most of them, or a lot of them, didn't pan out. Because again, while I feel like a lot of people saw the praise and the glory that Michael Jordan gained, most of them didn't understand the amount of work that it took to get to that level. However, Kobe Bryant did. But despite the fact that obviously Kobe Bryant is the closest thing to Michael Jordan that we've ever seen, one of the differences that I have talked about on this channel of what I believe are some differences between Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant is the fact that I think Michael Jordan's journey was more singularly focused on winning. And again, I feel like everyone who came after Mike, a piece of their journey was chasing that glory, was chasing that praise, was chasing to be like Michael Jordan, you know. And I think that sort of can dilute the journey. You know, it's kind of like Michael Jordan said. I think he was on Oprah Winfrey's show when he said this, and he said, you know, if you chase something, you may never get it, but if you just put in the hard work, then those things will be bestowed upon you. So I feel like I didn't ever see Michael Jordan as actually chasing a legacy. You know, I think he wanted to be respected by his peers, but I don't think he was chasing a legacy the same way that he wasn't chasing stats, fanboys. Michael Jordan was simply, you know, he wanted to win and he wanted to put in the work to make sure that he was the best at what he did. And that was his singular focus. While Kobe, no one can deny the work that he put in. And again, it's been said that Kobe worked harder while Jordan worked smarter. I still think part of Kobe's journey, which kind of self-admittedly here, that he did want that, you know, he was conscious of how that look would affect his legacy. And so I'm not sure how I feel about that. Because to me, it's one of those things I'm thinking like, would Jordan have thought that same thing? And somehow I really don't think so. You know, I feel like if Jordan happened to be on a team with a player as great as Shaq, now we know had Shaq wind up playing with Jordan, it would have been a little different because Jordan was already established when Shaq came into the league. You know, when Shaq came into the league, Jordan was already looked at as the best player in the league, arguably the GOAT already. So it would have been a little different with Shaq going to a team with Jordan versus, you know, a rookie, not only a rookie Kobe Bryant, but an 18-year-old Kobe Bryant, you know, coming in to a team with Shaq. So I think the dynamic between Shaq and Jordan, I believe, would have been different than the dynamic between Shaq and Kobe. But I'm not sure Jordan would have wanted to, if he had a player like Shaq, he would have felt the need to, oh, well, I need to go to another team because I don't want people to say I had Shaq, you know. Well, and I feel there's a lot of reasons behind that. Number one reason, because I feel like Jordan really felt that he could win with anybody with some talent. You know, I felt like Jordan feels like he is the best one on the team. So it doesn't matter if it's Shaq on the team or anybody else. Jordan always feels like he's the top dog. And because he truly feels like that, and I think, again, this is kind of the difference between confidence and cockiness. And I always said Kobe Bryant was more cocky than Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, to me, is the definition of just being truly confident about what you do for a reason. And the reason is, I know I work harder than anybody else, along with the gifts that he already had. And, you know, this is another thing, is Kobe didn't have a lot of the natural gifts that Michael Jordan had. So that could have played a part into it. But, yeah, I believe because Michael Jordan was truly confident that he was the best player on any team, on any night, in any given situation, that I'm not sure he would have felt he had to get away from Shaq to prove something. Whereas Kobe felt that way because I feel like Kobe, no matter how confident he was in his game, and obviously he's always talked about him being a one-on-one player and he wouldn't lose in one-on-one. I think Kobe had that need to prove that he was as good as he says he is. Whereas Jordan, I don't think he necessarily thought he had to prove it. He just thought he needs to win so everyone else will see it, so to speak. Or maybe a better way to put it is, I think Kobe still needed to prove it to himself, whereas Jordan just wanted to prove it to everyone else. But I guess here is the question. Had Shaq and Kobe stayed together, because I'm sure they would have won some more, I say they probably would have won at least 2 more, perhaps 3 more together. Would Kobe's legacy be different? Because I do believe Kobe being able to win those 2 championships by himself highly elevated the way people looked at him. Well, and I say by himself, with him and Pau Gasol. I do think that elevated the way people looked at him. And, it's kind of the same reason why, if you've heard me talk about my top 5, why I don't have Magic on my higher in my top 5 is because he did play with Kareem, because he did play with someone who has a legitimate case to be the GOAT, unlike LeBron James. And so, yeah, if Shaq and Kobe had stayed together, maybe we would all be looking at Kobe Bryant differently. And so, on one hand, I don't blame him for wanting to go to another team or separate from Shaq to prove himself, because, I think ultimately, like I said, I think him winning with Pau Gasol definitely raised the way that people looked at Kobe. But at the same time, I kind of feel like, you were lucky enough to have Shaq on your team when you got there. And had y'all taken advantage of that, who knows what y'all could have accomplished together and how that would have affected how both of you were looked at in history. But anyway, I just thought that was interesting. Like I said, I was watching that interview again, and I didn't realize that it had actually gone that far, that Kobe was actually looking for houses, and like I said, I think he said that they had actually found a place to stay in Chicago. So that could have been a very interesting turn of events had Kobe went to Chicago. I mean, to have Michael Jordan pass through there and then to have Kobe Bryant, I'm sure that would have been a huge lift for Chicago. And I do think had Kobe went to Chicago, he would have brought some championships to Chicago. But anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Like I said, I'm pretty sure everybody knew that there was a chance that Kobe was going to go to Chicago, but did you all know that it had actually gone that far? Like I said, that he was actually house shopping in Chicago. But and what do you think would have been an effect on Kobe's legacy if him and Shaq never separated? How do you think that would have changed the way people viewed Shaq and Kobe if they would have never separated and won more championships together? Would Kobe still be viewed in the same way that he's viewed now? But anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments. You all have a truly fantastic day, and I'll see you next time. All right.